Operations Management Managing Quality Chapter 6. Outline Quality and Strategy. Defining Quality. International Quality Standards. Total Quality Management. Tools of TQM. Inspection. TQM and Services. Quality improves profitability. Sales gains. Higher sales. Higher prices. Improved reputation. Increased profits. Improved quality. Reduced costs. Increased productivity. Lower rework and scrap costs. Lower warranty costs. This slide not only looks at the impact of quality on productivity, it also enables you to begin a discussion as to the meaning of quality, or perhaps the differing meanings among different people. To many people, the notion of high quality carries with it the assumption of high price. This slide provides an initial point to challenge that assumption. Definitions of quality. Totality of features and characteristics that bears on a product or service's ability to satisfy customer needs. American Society for Quality. User-based, what consumer says it is. Manufacturing-based, degree to which a product conforms to design specification. Once you have introduced these definitions of quality, ask students to provide example of products that use them. Dimensions of quality for goods. Operation or performance. Reliability. Durability. Conformance. Serviceability. Appearance to senses. Perceived quality. Quality. It may be most helpful to provide, or ask you students to provide, examples of products for which the notion of quality is based upon one or more of the dimensions listed. Implications of quality. Company reputation. Real or perceived. Product liability. Large dollar can be awarded. Global implications. Company quality affects national image. It may be most helpful to provide, or ask you students to provide, examples of products for which the notion of quality is based upon one or more of the dimensions listed. International quality standards. ISO 9000 series, Euro PC. Common quality standards for products sold in Europe, even if made in US. ISO 14000 series, Euro PC. Standards for recycling, labeling, etc. One of the most important points to be made from this slide is that quality standards are now international. Students might be asked to explain the benefits of international as opposed to national standards. They might also be asked to consider the limitations we would face if there were no such standards. The problems to be encountered in developing international standards also make for good discussion. Note to your students that Crosby has great reservations about the standard and the procedures building an effective quality program. Costs of quality prevention costs, 5 to 10%, to prevent failures. Appraisal costs, 15 to 40%, to evaluate products. Failure costs, 50 to 80%. Internal failure costs, defective parts or services discovered in-house. External failure costs, defective parts or services discovered by customer. Most organizations do not know the cost of poor quality. Costs of quality. Internal failure costs. External failure costs. Scrap and rework. Downtime. Safety stock inventory. Overtime. External failure costs. Complaint handling and replacement. Warranties. Liability. Loss of goodwill. Traditional quality process, manufacturing. Customer. Marketing. Engineering. Operations. Specifies. Interprets. Designs. Produces. Need. Product. defines, plans. Students might be asked what problems they would foresee in implementing this process. Quality. Quality. Monitors. Quality. TQM, Total Quality Management. Encompasses entire organization from supplier to customer. Commitment by management to a continuing company-wide drive toward excellence in all aspects of products and services that are important to the customer. A point to be made here is that TQM is not a program but a philosophy. 3 key figures: W. Edwards Deming, Joseph Huron, Philip Crosby. Management and all employees have a responsibility for quality. 14 points. Deming Prize in Japan. Joseph Huron. Focus on customer. Continuous improvement in teams. Philip Crosby. Quality is free. Cost of poor quality is underestimated. One point to make here is that this list represents a recent expression of Deming's 14 points. The list is still evolving. Students may notice that many of these 14 points seem to be simply common sense. If they raise this issue, ask them to consider jobs they have held. Were these points emphasized or implemented by their employers? If not, why not? This part of the discussion can be used to raise again the issue that proper approaches to quality are not programs, with limited involvement and finite duration, but rather philosophies which must become ingrained throughout the organization. Deming's points create consistency of purpose across the organization. Leadership must play a key role. Build quality into the products. Build long-term relationships. Continuously improve product, quality, and service. Training and education are crucial. Empower employees. One point to make here is that this list represents a recent expression of Deming's 14 points. The list is still evolving. Students may notice that many of these 14 points seem to be simply common sense. If they raise this issue, ask them to consider jobs they have held. Were these points emphasized or implemented by their employers? If not, why not? This part of the discussion can be used to raise again the issue that proper approaches to quality are not programs, with limited involvement and finite duration, but rather philosophies which must become ingrained throughout the organization. Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. Established in 1988 by the U.S. government to promote TQM practices. Quality improvement programs are essential to the well-being of our economy and our ability to compete globally. Criteria include senior executive leadership, strategic planning, management of process quality, quality results, customer satisfaction. You might make the point that companies actually do consider this a prestigious award. For further information, visit the website http://www.quality.nis.gov. Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, Guidelines. It is crucial to have management understanding of the factory floor, worker involvement in quality, and emphasis on statistical process control. Quality improvement programs must be management-led and customer-oriented, and this may require fundamental changes in the way companies and agencies do business. You might make the point that companies actually do consider this a prestigious award. For further information, visit the website http://www.quality.nis.gov. Concepts of TQM. Top management has primary responsibility. Focus on customer. Continuous improvement. Employee empowerment. Benchmarking. Knowledge of tools for TQM. This slide simply introduces concepts of TQM. These concepts are expanded upon in subsequent slides. Continuous improvement. Continuously improve process and customer satisfaction. Involve all operations and work units, Other names. Kaizen, Japanese. Zero defects. Six Sigma. Students may have a number of questions with respect to the notion of continuous improvement. Why do we need continuous improvement? Why can't we do it right the first time? Doesn't implementation of continuous improvement introduce a certain instability? Are we never done? Etc. Employee empowerment. Involve employees in product and process improvements. 85% of quality problems are due to process and material, not employees. Techniques. Support workers. Workers solve quality problems. Let workers make decisions. Train workers. Provide tools for improved quality. Build teams and quality circles. If you have not done so already, you might at this point discuss why employee empowerment works. The role of information technology in enabling employee empowerment. The role of information technology in making employee empowerment a requirement. Benchmarking. Selecting best practices to use as a standard, target, for performance. Determine what to benchmark. Consider leading organizations in similar areas. Collect and analyze benchmarking information. Quantitative measures of performance. Take action to match or exceed the benchmark. Ask student to identify firms which they believe could serve as benchmarks. If students are unable to identify any firms, ask them to identify a college or university whose registration system or housing selection system could serve as a benchmark. Most students have enough knowledge of, or friends at, other colleges and universities so as to be able to respond to this question. Tools for TQM Quality Function Deployment, QFD. Taguchi Techniques. Cause and effect diagrams. Pareto Charts. Statistical process control. Poka-yoke. This slide simply enables you to introduce the tools of TQM. Particular tools are elaborated upon in subsequent slides. Quality Function Deployment, QFD. Determines what will satisfy the customer. Translates customer desires into target design. Helps determine product and process to ensure quality. Taguchi Techniques. Experimental design methods to improve product and process design. Identify key component and process variables affecting product variation. Taguchi concepts. Quality robustness. Quality loss function. Quality robustness. Design and make products so that variations in production do not cause failure. Identify important variations. Eliminate the effect of variations rather than the cause. Allow variation, but limit its ability to reduce quality. Quality loss function. Poor quality can be viewed as deviation from a desired level. Most quality characteristics, for example, length, weight, have a target value. Large deviations are much more expensive than small deviations. Quality loss function shows cost of deviation and is not linear. A deviation twice as large may be 10 times as expensive. One question to pose to your students: of what value is the notion of a social cost? How might a manager use this in decision-making? Cause and effect diagram. Used to find problem sources/solutions. Other names. Fishbone diagram, Ishikawa diagram. Steps. Identify problem to correct. Draw main causes for problem as bones. Ask what could have caused problems in these areas. Repeat for each sub-area. This slide introduces the cause and effect diagram. The next several slides show the development of a simple example. If time is available, it would be helpful to ask students to develop their own examples. Cause and effect diagram example. Too many defects. Problem. Cause and effect diagram example. Method. Manpower. Main cause. Too many defects. Material. Machinery. Main cause, cause and effect diagram example. Method. Manpower. Drill. Over. Time. Too many defects. Wood. Steel. Lathe. Material. Machinery. Subcause. Cause and effect diagram example. Method. Manpower. Tired. Old. Slow. Drill. Over. Time. Steel. Wood. Lathe. Too many defects. Material. Machinery. Pareto Charts. The majority of quality problems, defects, have only a few causes. Pareto chart shows relative importance of causes. Scratches. 70%. 54. 12. 5. 4. 2. 10. 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. 70. Porosity. Nicks. Contamination. Miscellaneous. Causes of glass defects, by percent of total defects. Number. 16%. 6%. 5%. 3%. This slide introduces the cause and effect diagram. The next several slides show the development of a simple example. If time is available, it would be helpful to ask students to develop their own examples. Statistical Process Control, SPC, uses statistics and control charts to identify when to adjust process. Involves creating standards, upper and lower limits. Measuring sample output, for example mean weight. Taking corrective action, if necessary. Done while product is being produced. This slide introduces the process of statistical process control. Slides illustrating the mechanics will be found in the presentation for Supplement 4S. At some point, you may wish to illustrate or discuss the connection between statistical process control and the target and conformance-based quality control discussed earlier. Inspection examine items to see if they are good or defective. Detects defective products. Does not correct deficiencies in process or product. Issues. What to inspect. When and where to inspect. This slide introduces the concept of inspection. At this point, one should probably stress the role of inspection in the overall quality control process. Some students seem to have the notion that inspection is quality control. When and where to inspect. At the supplier's plant. While the supplier is producing. Before shipping to your facility. At your facility. Upon receipt of goods from the supplier. Before costly or irreversible processes. When production or service is complete. At the point of customer contact. This slide can be used to frame a discussion about when to inspect. If your students have documented an actual production process from a local business, one of these documented processes can serve as an example. Inspection Ritchie International's SPIES. How do limousine services and luxury hotels maintain quality? They inspect. But when the product is one-on-one service, largely dependent on personal behavior, how do you inspect? You hire SPIES. Ritchie International is the SPIE. National Executive Service, an international limousine service. Preferred hotels and resorts worldwide, and intercontinental hotels have all hired Ritchie to do quality evaluations via spying. Ritchie employees posing as customers perform the inspections. However, even then management must have established what the customer expects and specific services that yield customer satisfaction. Only then do managers know where and how to inspect. Aggressive training and objective inspections reinforce behavior that will meet those customer expectations. The training is performed in-house, but Ritchie International performs the unannounced inspections. This slide can be used to frame a discussion about when to inspect. If your students have documented an actual production process from a local business, one of these documented processes can serve as an example. Inspection points and services. Some points of inspection. Organization. Issues to consider. Restaurant. Kitchen. Cashier station. Dining areas. Food. Clean, proper storage, unadulterated food, health regulations observed, well organized. Speed, accuracy, appearance. Clean, comfortable, regular monitoring by personnel. Presentation, taste, quantity,